Are there any new elements as far as you're concerned? Let me finish what I'm saying. Please, for the first time, those for me before.
Well, the judge is just having a slight argument with the defence here over one of what is really two cases. You'll be aware that we haven't heard as to what's going on.
Two cases of, actually 3 cases, or 3 charges when they are put together. The case against the former Minister of Interior, Habib al-Adli, they are joined under the issuing of orders to kill protesters and demonstrators. Now the judge has read the names of the case of Habib al-Adli and his lieutenants, and they reported being present, and then he asked as to whether someone new added to their legal teams, and this is a matter of procedure. Someone said that we did not know how many who were attending as a member of the legal team before, and we don't know who is attending this now, this time. So in this case we will have to effectively one trial. Who have red sash are the prosecution, the green is the judge, and the lawyers are in black, according to the change of pictures.
Thank you very much. As we go through these proceedings, let's just get a sense as to what it's like outside the courtroom itself, because we have heard more rumblings of trouble. John Lyne is with us again here now, and John, it was all looking at
really, this is the moment, I think, almost the president finally in the dock, and there will cheers and wolf whistles from the most crowd of opposition supporters here as they watch the big screen just behind me when they finally
John Lyne of Hosni Mubarak, looking very old, frail, but certainly compos mentis. I mean, he does look as if he's following proceedings there. It's such an extraordinary image you're saying about those outside watching on, for them to to be in this situation. Shame, but nonetheless, this is the picture back in the courtroom, and we'll pick up with John as and when we can.
Mubarak's two sons, they are standing next to their father's stretcher. They look so much anxious and protective about their father, and he tells them things all the time. So I'm not sure what's going on, but it looks extraordinary, actually, extremely extraordinary.
Very difficult to know, obviously, but given it is now 6 months since Hosni Mubarak stepped down, would he still be seen as the leader of his power? It's not a real power base anymore, but
being hostile to the situation in a very difficult hour for them like that, it was seen in the past that not even Gamal or Ala or Hosni as the leader. It was seen that Suzanne Mubarak was the leader of the family, and she was trying to empower her son Gamal to be more. Ala was busy with making money and leaving other things to other people. Victim of his son. And
now, given sorry, Allah is the oldest of the two sons, and yet not the one perceived to be the man in line to the presidency as such. So, what role does he or did he then play in terms of government? Because he is on trial here.
He did not appear, but he something like. In the early 90s, he went to a minister of housing applying to have 1,000 acres in western Cairo for a housing project. And the minister was strong enough and sincere enough to tell him, have you asked your father?
He said, in terms of the question of killing of protesters,
he was, I mean, the business for that, and in the last few weeks of Mubarak in power, were made in the family kitchen. And no one comes to that, but it is for the assert itself of who is actually responsible. Mubarak, Gamal Mubarak is more implicated, and the orders could never go without Hosni Mubarak having a word with the interior minister. But trial.
And as far as Gamal is concerned, far more involved, a much higher profile position.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to say much of what I know at the time of the trial, because but he is very rich on his own right.
But he chaired the higher policy committee within the party, the Democratic Party.
Well, he did not chair only the high policy committee. It was as a junior officer or fourth rank officer in the ruling party. He was the chairman of that council, and everyone, like who is who in Egypt, was a member of that council under him, except two. Mom and dad.
Mubarak firmly.
Absolutely.
Okay. The judge, as he brings us through these early stages of the proceedings, and ultimately will end up with a situation where one trial can resume.
My client is the fifth defendant. ماهر محمد معناسي ودكتور سامي علي جمال الدين. دكتور إيهاب.
This clearly. One other question I wanted to put to you, Abdullah. You've seen now the state of health, as far as we can ascertain it, of Hosni Mubarak. That's not a man who could sit through an entire trial, is it?
Well,
difficult to see.
It is difficult to see, and it's for the doctors to report. But many defendants pretended ill by taking certain drugs in order to avoid and delay or obstruct the trial. I'm not sure whether something like that is made, and I don't want to implicate anyone in any way, but I don't know. The lawyer, Mubarak's lawyer, have been trying to play the health card. This did not, but in Ramadan now, while people are fasting and there is a great deal of goodwill, I think some of that goodwill will be extended to Mubarak as well. Say, we have seen him, let him stay away probably, and the outcome will not. So it is all in the hands of the president of the court, and we'll have, at least we have another president in the court.
A president within the system of justice.
Yeah.
John Lyne joins us again from outside the courtroom itself. John, we were just discussing the pictures that we have seen of Hosni Mubarak, and they are of they're fairly wretched images, aren't they? Do you think that people would share the view that really a man in his condition is not in a state to stand trial as such and be present throughout?
Divided on that, not that he has any enormous numbers of supporters, although there are a few very loud ones here, but mostly some Egyptians think, well, let's just get on with life. Now, they may not have huge sympathy for him for all he did for Egypt, but they think it's just a bit of a distraction. I can give you a little bit of a few bits of information on what happened in the courtroom. I'm told it's very tense in there, not surprisingly at all. There was some chanting actually inside the court, which the judge had to silence.